Young Mei Mei, the ethereal actress with eyes that could melt glaciers, had taken the entertainment world by storm with her debut in Petals in the Wind. Yu Long, the charismatic actor and martial arts prodigy, had an edge and vulnerability that kept fans riveted. When they were cast together in the historical fantasy Crimson Lotus, sparks flew on screen and off. Paparazzi caught them sharing quiet coffees in hidden cafes, laughing during midnight strolls, and once, sharing a tearful embrace at the airport. The public couldn't get enough. Hashtags like #Meilong and #Royal Couple of C-Drama trended for months. But then, things changed. 2 months ago, fans began noticing subtle shifts. Young Mei Mei stopped liking Yu Long's posts. Yu Long, usually proud to wear Mei Mei's design jewelry, suddenly appeared bare-wrist. In one red carpet event for the Golden Dragon Awards, Yu Long attempted to hold her hand, but she subtly moved away. Still, no one wanted to believe it. Until a shocking video surfaced. It was late at night. Rain hammered the pavement outside Yu Long's penthouse in the Bund. A neighbor's door camera caught a blurry figure, young Mei Mei, storming out of the building. Her makeup was smudged, her coat clutched tightly to her chest. Behind her, Yu Long stood in the doorway, shouting something incomprehensible into the rain. She didn't turn back. According to an insider at Lotus 88, an elite restaurant known only to A-listers, the final crack came during a private dinner arranged by Yu Long. He had reportedly booked out the entire top floor, hired a private violinist, and even had the chefs recreate Mei Mei's childhood favorite, spicy Yunnan noodles with mint. But instead of rekindling love, the night ended in fire. She came in calm, but there was this tension, said a waiter who served them. By the time the dessert came, she had already stood up twice. Then she suddenly shouted, "So this is who you really are, Yu Long?" and threw her wine glass against the wall. CCTV footage, which mysteriously leaked 2 days later, showed Yu Long banging the table, standing abruptly, and trying to stop her from walking out. But she left, pushing past staff and vanishing into the elevator before he could follow. It didn't take long for netizens to dive deep. What had happened? Was Yu Long cheating? Was Mei Mei too controlling? The answer: neither, and both. 2 sources from Yu Long's studio confirmed that he had signed a secret deal for a role in an international Hollywood production titled Phoenix Ashes, a role that would require him to move to Los Angeles for at least a year. He didn't tell Mei Mei. She found out from a casting director, not from Yu Long, the source revealed. She felt betrayed. This wasn't just a job. It was their future. She had been designing their house in Hangzhou, planning a wedding. In contrast, sources close to Yu Long said the relationship had become suffocating. He felt like he was being pulled into a life that wasn't his, one said. Mei Mei had mapped everything out, down to the names of their future children. He was still trying to breathe. And then, a bombshell dropped. On the night of July 22nd, an anonymous Weibo account posted a 45-second audio clip. It was raw, emotional, and undeniably real. Young Mei Mei's voice: "You looked me in the eye and told me we were building something real. And then you signed away our time like it meant nothing to you." Yu Long's voice: "Because I wanted to do something for myself. For once, Mei Mei. You want forever, and I don't even know if I want next week." The internet exploded. The clip garnered over 200 million views in 12 hours. Fans took sides. Some defended Mei Mei's longing for stability. Others said Yu Long had the right to chase his dreams. But no one could ignore the heartbreak in both their voices. Just days after the audio leak, both stars released official statements. Young Mei Mei posted a handwritten letter on her Weibo. "To everyone who believed in us, I thank you. Love is beautiful, but not always enough. I choose peace, growth, and light. Let him fly. Let me bloom." Yu Long, ever the poet, shared a black-and-white photo of a burning paper crane. His caption: "She gave me a home. I gave her a storm. I hope the winds carry her somewhere kinder." Neither mentioned each other directly, but their words resonated across media, trending globally with the hashtag #MeilongNoMore. Perhaps the most dramatic scene came 2 weeks later. Yu Long, preparing to leave for Los Angeles, was spotted at Pudong International Airport. Hordes of fans gathered, screaming encouragement and heartbreak. But as he stood at the gate, a woman in a hoodie and face mask approached. It was young Mei Mei. Witnesses say they stood frozen for several seconds, staring. Then, she reached into her pocket and handed him something, a tiny box. He opened it. Inside was a silver crane pendant. Tears streamed down both their faces, but neither said a word. She turned and left. He didn't try to stop her. Young Mei Mei has since thrown herself into a new drama series titled Wisteria Garden, where she plays a florist who refuses to fall in love again. Fans wonder if it's a little too close to real life. Yu Long has landed in LA, already making headlines with co-stars like Zendaya and Dev Patel. His Instagram shows beaches, studio lots, and city lights, but his eyes are always serious. Heavy. Lost, some say. In a recent interview, when asked if he missed China, he responded, "I miss home. But sometimes, home is not a place. It's a person. And I walked away." Exactly 1 month after the breakup, young Mei Mei posted a photo of her standing on a cliff in Yunnan, arms open to the wind. The caption, "Sometimes you have to let go, not because you stopped loving them, but because you love yourself more now." That same night, Yu Long posted a video of the Shanghai skyline, recorded months ago. In the background, a soft voice whispered, "Promise me, if one of us has to fly, we won't forget what it felt like to dance under the cherry blossoms." Young Mei Mei and Yu Long's breakup wasn't just a tabloid headline. It was a cultural earthquake. It reflected the pressures of fame, the fragility of love under a spotlight, and the painful truth that sometimes two people can love each other deeply and still not be right for each other. Some fans still hope for a reunion. Others believe they're better apart. But all agree on one thing. Their story, as heartbreaking as it was real, raw, and unforgettable. Every year, a cherry blossom tree in Suzhou blooms earlier than the rest. Locals say it's blessed. This year, young Mei Mei was seen walking under it, quiet and alone. She didn't smile. But she stood there for a long time, perhaps remembering the spring when she and Yu Long danced under cherry petals, whispering promises neither of them could keep. Love may have left them, but the echoes? The echoes remain forever. The night young Mei Mei walked out of Yu Long's penthouse wasn't just any night. It was the night Shanghai witnessed its heaviest rainfall in over a decade. Streets flooded. Cars stalled. But the Real flood happened in the hearts of two lovers, once unstoppable, now collapsing under the weight of unspoken truths. Inside Yu Long's luxurious high-rise overlooking the Bund, the air was thick with tension. Glass walls trembled under the thunder. The once cozy home now looked like a battlefield. Half-finished takeout containers on the marble counter, a trail of rose petals forgotten on the floor, and a single broken champagne flute glinting under dim lighting. Young Mei Mei stood by the window, arms crossed tightly. "You knew this was everything to me," she said, voice brittle. "You didn't just take a role. You made a decision about us without me." Yu Long stood a few feet away, running his hand through his rain-damp hair. "I wanted to tell you. But every time I tried, you looked at me like I was already the villain." Her eyes narrowed. "And you thought keeping it from me made you the hero?" There was silence, except for the muffled rumble of thunder. Then, crash! Yu Long slapped the wall in frustration. "I'm tired of being boxed into your fairy tale, Mei Mei." She flinched but didn't cry. "Not yet." "You said you loved my fairy tale once," she whispered. "Now it's a box." Her hands trembled as she picked up her coat from the couch. Yu Long moved to block the door. "You're really leaving? In the middle of a storm?" "I'm not afraid of storms," she replied coldly. "I lived through worse before you." But before she could step forward, he grabbed her wrist, not forcefully, but enough to stop her. "Then tell me you don't love me anymore," he challenged. "Say it. If you walk out, I need to hear it." Young Mei Mei stared at him. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears, but her lips stayed sealed. And then, gently, she pulled her wrist from his grasp. "I'm not here to prove anything to you, Yu Long. I'm leaving because I finally realized I love myself more than the idea of us." She stepped into the elevator. He didn't follow. As the doors closed, Her face disappeared behind a metallic reflection, and the last thing he saw was the tear rolling down her cheek, silent, defiant. She drove aimlessly through Shanghai's rain-drenched streets, windshield wipers struggling to keep up. Her phone buzzed relentlessly. Calls from Yulong, missed messages from their shared manager, and even trending Weibo tags exploding across the top of her screen. But she didn't care. She pulled over by the Huangpu River and sat there, staring at the murky waves crashing violently against the barriers. In her passenger seat, a velvet box peeked out of her purse. Inside was the ring Yulong had given her 2 months ago, an unspoken promise, never made public. She took it out, turned it in her fingers, then opened the window. The cold wind slapped her face as she held the ring to the edge. For a second, she hesitated. Then she let go. The ring fell into the river, swallowed by darkness. At 2 a.m., young Mei Mei's best friend and co-star, Lu Fei, arrived at her apartment with 2 things, a bucket of fried chicken and a bottle of plum wine. "No words," Fei said, slipping off her heels. "Just healing vibes." Mei Mei gave a tired smile and slumped on the couch. "Do you think I did the right thing?" Fei popped open the wine. "You did the necessary thing." As they ate, Mei Mei finally let her tears fall. Not loud, not dramatic, just soft, steady weeping. Fei reached over and hugged her tightly. "Let it out," she murmured. "Because tomorrow, you rise again. And you do it for you, not for him." Back in the penthouse, Yulong was pacing like a caged animal. His shirt was soaked from chasing her into the rain earlier, and his hands were raw from hitting the bathroom mirror, which now lay in shattered pieces on the tile floor. He stared at a photo of them pinned to the refrigerator, taken last winter in Lijiang. She had snowflakes on her eyelashes, and he was mid-laugh, cheeks red from cold. He ripped it down. But as he stared at the torn edges, something broke inside him. He collapsed onto the kitchen floor, face buried in his hands, whispering her name like a prayer he'd forgotten how to finish. At sunrise, Shanghai looked deceptively calm. The storm had passed, but the city still dripped from the night's deluge. So did its lovers. Young Mei Mei posted a photo on her private Instagram, a cup of tea steaming on her balcony. The caption read, **, clarity tastes bitter, but it wakes you up. Yulong didn't post anything, but his assistant confirmed to reporters that his flight to Los Angeles had been postponed. For the first time in weeks, he didn't want to run anymore. As fate would have it, both young Mei Mei and Yulong had been scheduled to attend the same charity gala the following week. They were both patrons of the Children's Dream Foundation, and neither wanted to back out, despite the media circus. The press speculated, would they avoid each other? Would they fake smiles? Or would it be the ultimate confrontation? No one knew what to expect. But one thing was certain. The chapter of Us had closed. But the story, far from over. Stay tuned to this channel for updates, exclusive breakdowns, and emotional reactions as the story unfolds. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because this miracle might just be real.